Hey guys, welcome to ES and Dow Jones Futures Review. I'm going to go over the setups that I traded today, as well as what to look for potentially on Sunday open and Monday. Let's get right into it. White lines are the major lines, and ideally where I'm looking for my setups. Orange lines are more minor lines, more for profit taking and confluence, and sometimes can also be like a trigger for a setup. But more into that in a second. So on a 15-minute chart, let's go to around 3 o'clock Thursday. This is where we set up our levels last night. Usually a little later, but we got into a little early because of earnings. The first setup that I had was a dip in recovery. So I wanted to see 63.99 tag and then 64.05 recover. We did not get an exact tag, but we got really close, just 25 cents off from this level. So I did consider that a tag. Then we pushed right back up and over 64.05. The open at 6 o'clock, we dipped below a little bit and started pushing up. This was a valid trade. Your stop loss could have been the lows right here, ideally, or even a low right here, but that's a little far away for no reason, I would say. This is not a simple setup, it's a little bit more complicated, but it did end up working out. And then moving forward, when I woke up around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I noticed that we had played out pretty good for almost 15 points from this reclaim. We came back to backtest that area and dip and recovered it. However, nothing was really sticking out to me at this point. Afterwards, which we tagged 64.10 multiple times. So at that point, I'm thinking this could be a reclaim of that above level. You can see we sold from there at 3 o'clock, tested it again when I woke up around 6:30, and then tested it again at 8:30. So at this point, I'm thinking either I'm looking for a failed breakdown of some of these lows, or we start pushing back up above 64.10 and reclaim that. So we got that at 10:30. We start pushing up a little bit above. If you want to go long, it's worked out for a couple points. It's very tough when you're at all-time highs to find setups with low volatility. However, this reclaim ended up being a great trade. You can see we got up from around 64.10 all the way to 64.30. So for nearly 20 points, that's an awesome trade. Realistically, short term, we did set a little bit of a mini low here around 345. So that's something that we could see potentially dip and recover for a failed breakdown. If not, I'm looking for a cluster of lows right here and or right here to get taken out. It's a little complicated right now, being so close to the highs, literally a few points away from the all-time highs. So just take a step back and let price discovery guide you. Let's go to Dow Jones real quick while I'm here. As usual, we set the levels around 3 to 5 p.m. So last night, right after I set the levels, we actually started selling. Now, the first setup ideally that I would have seen is the failed breakdown of this clear low. This went from 44.86 all the way up to 54.10, so that's about 24 points. That's a pretty solid low. Ideally, I was looking for a failed breakdown of this low. If we didn't get it, though, the next setup would have been a dip in recovery of this level and then above this minor level. And that's actually exactly what we got. You can see on a 15-minute chart, 4 o'clock, we came down, tagged it exact, started popping back above at 4:30, and then we held it at the open. That would work out as a great trade. We got up to this resistance all the way and then sold directly from there. As usual, the levels had already been done. Why was this a resistance? You can see we broke through, back tested it, tagged it again once, tried a failed breakdown of that, and then eventually sold from there. Came back to back test it once, tried to pop above, back test a couple more times, and then sold again from there. So we came right back to test it again, and then sold off. That is actually very bullish. At this point, I'm looking for some type of failed breakdown of these lows to get long, and that is actually exactly what we got. So we had an awesome setup here in DJ today. I want to go over a couple of things. The best and first setup was a failed breakdown. We ended up getting a failed breakdown at this low right here, but because this low from Wednesday morning and then this low from Thursday morning were very close, only a few points apart, my ideal setup would have been to reclaim this major level above this level and even above this a little bit before going long. So you can see this how it worked out perfectly. We went below this, tagged this, recovered this level, held, and then we were off to the races over 24 points from here. Now, the best setup I just mentioned was the failed breakdown of these two lows. The next setup would have been, if you missed that, then you can go up at 44.91, and that kind of confirms that you recovered all three of these lows, even this one right here, and a little safer bet. So if you go on a 5-minute chart, you're going to see how that played out. We came above, we pushed through the 44.91, sold back down, and then started pushing back up at 10.15. So you could have gone long there if you wanted to on the recovery of all those lows. Otherwise, I thought it was more than okay to go long after this quick rubber band style dip in recovery at this level. Currently at afterwards, which we almost tagged this level again, sold down, started pushing back up. This time I would assume that you can go long because this is lots of acceptance here, and that if and when we got there after a nice little pullback, this was a possibility for a reclaim, and then that went up 9 points in itself. So DJ, awesome trading today. The short-term setup here is we don't have any really lows to work with, so I'll need some structure. We're starting to form a little low here, but not much to work with. If we can get a failed breakdown, dip in recovery of this low right here, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, this low set today morning at 10 o'clock is what I'm looking for in Dow Jones.